Good afternoon, everyone. Self-education here. Remember, if I provide value in this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Please like or comment. You can comment down below, share, and please subscribe. Okay, so what is the stock market? The stock market is an exchange. It's a mode of exchange for buying and selling stocks, which are pieces of businesses. They are really small pieces of businesses. Stocks might also be, people might also use the name equities, securities, but in the end of the day, you're owning a small piece of a business. Okay. So, what are some advantages and disadvantages of the stock market? In short, the stock market, the biggest disadvantage compared to bonds, or real estate, is that stocks have a much higher volatility. That volatility is, little movements. On a day-to-day basis, stocks will dramatically go up or down. Okay, but volatility is not necessarily a bad thing. Volatility is what actually makes greater returns for when you can get in with when there's a lot of volatility. It can make a lot better returns in the long run. Okay, so what is the disadvantage of stocks is that the biggest thing that comes to mind is compared to real estate, stocks are more of an offhand approach. Real estate is going to be more it's going to be more, active. You're going to be more involved, you know. That is also a big disadvantage of real estate is um you might have to be a lot more active. If something breaks, you might have to hire a contractor. You might have to figure out, that there's more implications as far as taxes. Real estate can get more complicated, but depending on your knowledge, you might be able to generate a near return or better, depending. And real estate, a lot of people use leverage, which leverage is the it's your money. You're able to borrow money to buy this real estate, and then as far as tenants and people to rent it out, um, you're not having a full equity stake, so you don't have to come up with maybe as much money. Big advantage about stocks though is a lot of stocks you can buy a whole share, and most brokerages even offer low cost fractional shares, so you don't even have to buy a whole share anymore. And it's a really hands off approach. You know, you're nobody's gonna call you at 2 o'clock in the morning and saying, hey, my water's leaking. Will you come fix my stock? It's a really hands off approach, and these are pieces of companies. This is not, you got to be invested for the long term, because day to day, what really drives these stocks up and down is news. It's headlines, it's news. There's going to be a lot of bad news. There's always bad news out there somewhere. There's a lot of good news, and that can make these periods of euphoria where stocks are overvalued and they they're not even a good value. Okay, but you have to. The biggest thing about being an investor in the stock market is temperament. You have to have the guts. You have to have the stomach to, if your company that you're part owner in goes down 10, 20, 30, even half, you have to have the guts to hold on to it. You know, just because everything might be bad at that moment in the economy doesn't necessarily your company that you own is bad. There's a lot of factors and variables that can go into play. That's why a lot of people don't want to just own one company. There's ETFs out there that can provide a lot more stability, and you're going to get more or less a broader index you're going to get a broader range of companies, diversifying. So not all of your eggs are in one basket. Okay, so you need to know what your risk preference is. You know, are you willing to take a lot of risk, a little bit of risk? How long is your time horizon that you want your money locked up for? Is it going to be, you know, just a few years? You know, even a year or less, you probably shouldn't be buying any stocks or even ETFs, indexes, none of that. Okay, so if you're invested for the long term, the stock market, real estate is probably your best bet. Okay, so we'll try to keep it simple. Try to explain this in a way, you know, if you know nothing about it, we'll, you know, start from a beginner's level and we'll talk about some more advanced things coming up. All right, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.